wasn't expecting, so you have to tell me who's here.
Devontae Christian. Was he not supposed to be here?
I was told it was going to be just Devontae. And Scott's here too?
Yeah.
Okay, I know I got his card. Brandon Scott.
Brent.
Right. Indiana State is here. They are the 6th seed. They will play the 3rd seed Illinois State Redbirds. We're going to ask head coach Greg Lansing to start off with a statement. Then we'll have questions for all 4 people on the dais. Greg, please.
Just really excited about being here. It's one of the best conference tournaments in the country. More excited about being with these 3 guys up here and in our new season. And they've been, especially these 2 seniors, Brenton only being a sophomore, redshirt sophomore, but being around Christian and Devontae, just can't thank them enough for what they've done to our program on and off the court. And I'd love to see them go out in a special way. They were here in a tournament final that we didn't get done, and I think everybody's here to try and win a championship. We didn't win the regular season championship, but there's one right here in St. Louis, so just ready to go.
Start off, Todd.
This question's for Greg, and then the players can join in afterwards. Was just listening to Ben Jacobson. He said something interesting. I thought they went through a rough patch at the beginning of the year, and he said they stayed the course, and that really made a difference in terms of, pulling back together and getting on the winning track. Can you talk about your approach with that? And for the players, can you talk about the approach you guys need to take to, turn this tournament into a positive moment?
And I've talked to Jake about it too. He and I are good friends, and obviously what they did was probably a little bit better than what I did, as a head coach. They did stay the course. They got a lot of guys that have been a lot of big games, NCAA tournament team, and doing those things, and those guys hung in there with them. And I think they were playing 4. I think he says they have 4 sophomores in their top 8. So, if you're not playing well in the league, you're going to lose. And we did lose our way. We lost our way for a while, and these guys would be the first ones to tell you. And tried a lot of different things, some that didn't work, obviously. But again, you're going against. We had a very difficult schedule. You're going against really good teams that are playing at a high level, and we weren't. And you saw the results of it. But none of that matters right now. Finished on a high note, played better, and we've had better practices. And I know, I trust these guys, and they'll be ready to go tomorrow. There's no question. We're gonna have a good half hour out here to shoot. We're gonna go practice, and I'd be shocked if they weren't locked in and ready to go tomorrow night.
Okay, same question. We'll go with the student athletes. Devontae, you'll start off, and then Christian, and then Brendan.
Yeah, I think it's just it's a good opportunity. We come in here, everybody's undefeated, and we got a game under our belt, a win streak going. So, and that's all we prepared to do. We're gonna have a good little practice here, get a shots up, and go over and get a good practice. And everybody just focused and locked in and prepared for the task at hand. So, we stayed the course, and it was a little rocky, but we found our way, and that's the only thing you can be happy about. You find your way going into the conference tournament.
I would just say everybody goes through rough patches in the season. A lot of teams, Illinois State went through it, Northern Iowa went through it. It just happened that we had at the wrong time of the year. You kind of want to build momentum towards March and everything like that. But, we always kept our heads up high, and we stayed positive with each other. We stayed positive with the process, and everything worked out. We're still here. We still have another fighting chance. So, we're not really worried about what happened behind us. All we can worry about is these next days right here in front of us.
I agree with what Coach said and Devontae and Christian said. We went through a little rough patch, and with our last game against Bradley, we tried to correct things and try to get back on the right path. And we get a new start here in this conference tournament, and we're all going to be locked in, ready to go. For our shoot around in our practice today, and we're going to be ready tomorrow night.
Go here, Jim, and then back here, Dawn.
Devontae, what did Illinois State do differently the second time you played them? They were able to hold you to 2 points that second time?
They just stuffed the box. They just packed a lot of guys in, and I kind of wasn't prepared for the coaches prepared for me a little bit, but I wasn't as prepared to really see it. And they did a really good job as far as stopping the team, not just me. I mean, a lot of guys on the team didn't have a good night that night, but it's really about preparation for this one. We know what they're going to do, and we made some minor adjustments to be prepared for what they're going to do, so it'll be all right this time.
Greg, when you play Illinois State, what is the biggest concern from the coaching side of it?
Oh, a lot. Where do you start, really? Well, they're as gifted athletically and skill-wise as anybody in the league, and they have several matchups across the board that are difficult, and they're not just difficult for us, they're difficult for anybody. It shows they beat everybody in the league this year, and they got guys playing at a high level right now. Dan's got them playing with the toughness like when he played, and they shorten their bench, they're playing 8, and all those guys know they're going to get their minutes, so they're coming in supremely confident, and I really think they've played awfully well at the defensive end, and they really did. Like Devontae said, stuff the box, doing a good job of taking away other team strengths, and we need to do the same, and trying to make some adjustments, but they have been very impressive playing here down the stretch.
This question's for Christian and Brenton. For both of you guys, you've beaten all the teams in your side of the Arch Madness bracket, including Illinois State. Teams evolve over time, but is that something you guys can fall back on, when you look at the tournament as a whole, and certainly for tomorrow night's matchup against Illinois State?
Christian, you first, please.
I think that's the one reason why we walk in here with our heads held so high, because, we know what we're capable of, and, what the coaching staff has taught us this whole year, and what our background is made of. It's proven, obviously we went through a rough patch, but, if you look back at those games, our defense was, top notch, and everything was flowing right. We were moving the ball right. Everything was going. So, yeah, we do have a little confidence in us too, but, it's March. Anything can happen. So we're not, guaranteeing anything, but we know what type of team that we're capable of. Yeah, make sure it's on first.
Looking back at, those games early in the conference season, beating those teams, and knowing that we get another chance to play them again on our side of the bracket, gives us a great deal of confidence. And I think, we're just going to be ready to play. And, we know what we have to do. And looking back at those games, we played great. We played good basketball. So, we know we can play at that level again here in March.
This is for Devontae and Christian. Not going to belabor the point, but last year was not a pleasant memory here playing. How much does that drive your motivation this year to make it better?
I think it's been motivation for the entire season. I think the games that we lost and the rough patch we went through, we forgot that motivation, and it's definitely motivation here, especially it being Christian, Brandon, and myself's last rod here at the conference tournament. It's always motivation. In times like this in March, you got to find something to motivate you and make you play at a higher level. If you're not, you got to find something to really push you over that edge and have you play with that type of intensity. And it's just a great opportunity anyway to play with a guy like Brent Scott, K. Smith, and Brandon. So, and be coached by this guy. So it's going to be a good opportunity.
Christian, same question.
I think it's motivating just because, like Devontae said, this could be our last game. As a college career. So just coming out here knowing that you have to give your all, you have to give 100%, or else, it's not going to go your way, especially with a talented team like we're getting ready to face. So, everything has to be different. Our focus, our preparation, our mentality, everything has to be, win or go home, because obviously that's the situation we're in. And last year is definitely more motivating. It should be motivating to everybody in that locker room right now, regardless if they played in it or not, because, we still have that name on our chest, and that carries over until we change it.
Question in the back.
For Devontae and Christian, you guys obviously have played in this tournament now 4 years. What does that leadership bring to some of those younger guys as you prepare for a game on Friday night, especially it being a later game than you typically play throughout the season?
Christian, you'll start off this time, followed by Devontae.
I think the first 2 games are just a lot different just because they're home and away. It's just, who can come out to get, who can prepare for the game plan. And their conference, this is a dogfight. Every possession matters. I remember our sophomore year when we played Southern, and that game came down to the last final seconds, and it didn't matter what seed you were, what your record was. Like I said, it's in March. Everything matters. So, just got to relay these guys. The last 2 games that we played against them doesn't matter. Like, this game right here is most important. Every possession matters. Like I said, it doesn't matter, you know, everybody's capable. Anybody can go off for a big night, you know. So we just got to be locked in and focus on every aspect of the game.
I think it's just they got to understand that the most important game is the first game, and when it comes to the conference tournament, it's not really about the offensive end because everybody's going to move the ball at this, and everybody knows you got to move the ball, but it's really comes down to the defensive end. If you can play defense at a elite high level in a conference tournament, you're gonna have a good chance of winning. And that's really it's got to, like Kirsten says, it's a dogfight every single possession. You can't take one off. If it's a fast break, you got to go ahead and bust it and take a foul, and maybe might be your second one. But that might put them on the free throw line, but it also stops that momentum. So it's really about stopping momentum and defense and really being scrappy on the defensive end.
Stay in the back. Go.
For Devontae and Brenton, you guys obviously were named second team all-conference. What's that do for your spirits, kind of just to see that everybody overlooked that rough patch a little bit? Obviously you guys didn't, but still to be able to get that notoriety from the conference.
Brenton first, please.
Knowing Devontae and myself, you know, we obviously, you know, second team, you know, we want to be on the first team, obviously, but that 6-game losing streak wasn't, you know, what we expected, and it's not what we wanted to have for ourselves. But you know, it's a great accomplishment, especially for a guy like myself. You know, just being younger, and I'm just learning. You know, I'm learning from these guys right here, and I'm just thankful, and you know, I'm just thankful for my coach, and I'm just learning and trying to get better.
I mean, it's always a good thing to be honored by your peers, and it's a blessing. I mean, nonetheless, but to have a guy like B. Scott and to get something like that, it speaks to his tremendous work ethic and where he's come along. Because a lot of people doubted him, and he kept playing. He fought through a lot of things, and the way guys are playing him, and he still was successful. And it just speaks to how our coach is making these little minor adjustments to make sure that we are successful as players in different areas of the floor. So it just speaks to it's an honor first and foremost, but I'm just thankful anyway.
Anything else for the Sycamores of Indiana State? Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Best of luck tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks. Good job, guys. Illinois